Meet the most hated dog in Hebei. He's not a king, but he lives like one. He's the toxic shadow of King Charles, the only creature smart enough to nurse the king back to life and dumb enough to start a war in the same hour. Why does the absolute alpha keep a biological liability in his inner circle? You're about to witness the forensic breakdown of a frenemy and the dark secret behind the king's recovery. To understand why Lao Hei is still breathing, you have to go back to the recovery room. When King Charles was a broken mess of scars and bandages, Lao Hei was there. He wasn't barking, he wasn't causing trouble, he was the biological anchor. In the wild, an injured alpha is a target, but Lao Hei provided a neural buffer. He gave KC the comfort of a peer without the threat of a challenge. This is where the pass was earned. King Charles doesn't forget who stood by him when his jaw was wired shut. This bond is deeper than hierarchy. It's a debt of survival. Lao Hei spent weeks smelling the king's weakness and chose to stay silent. That silence bought him a lifetime of tolerance. But as we're about to see, Lao Hei decided to spend that tolerance like a credit card with no limit. The moment King Charles stood back up, Lao Hei's ego exploded. He realized that if he stood 3 inches behind the king, he became untouchable. This is strategic proximity. Lao Hei isn't a fighter, he's an instigator. He'll growl at Thorm, snap at Rocky, and bully the subordinates, all while leaning against the king's shoulder. He's using KC's reputation as a personal shield. It's the ultimate coward's move, and King Charles knows it. You'll see Lao Hei starting drama in the yard, only to run back to the king when the teeth come out. He's a tactical parasite who's addicted to the power he didn't earn. In any other pack, he'd be lunch, but in the house of Charles, he's the jester who thinks he's the prince, and the king is starting to get annoyed. If you think King Charles plays favorites, you haven't been paying attention. KC disciplines Lao Hei more than any other dog in the shelter. Why? Because the closer you are to the king, the higher the standard. When Lao Hei steals food or gets too loud, KC doesn't just bark, he pins Lao Hei to the floor with a cold, surgical precision. It's a reminder, I remember you in the recovery room, but I also remember who the boss is. This is the alpha tax. Lao Hei pays it in skin and pride every single day. Most dogs would learn and move away, but Lao Hei is a rank chaser. He'd rather be bitten by King Charles than be ignored by the pack. It's a toxic cycle of discipline and defiance that defines their entire relationship. Lao Hei is a high-maintenance peer. He drains the king's mental energy. While KC is trying to manage the entire Hebei yard, he constantly has to look over his shoulder to see what mess Lao Hei is making now. In the US, we call this a toxic friendship. Lao Hei provides social comfort, but he brings social chaos. He's a biological liability. Every time KC has to stop what he's doing to put Lao Hei in his place, the social order of the shelter wavers. The subordinates see the king's friend acting out, and they start to question the rules. King Charles is keeping a wolf at his side that keeps inviting the other wolves to bite. It's a tactical nightmare. Why keep him? Because in the cold world of the shelter, even an absolute alpha needs a ghost of loyalty to keep from going insane. Thorm hates Lao Hei. It's written all over his face. Thorm is a general. He values discipline, loyalty, and silence. Lao Hei is the opposite, loud, messy, and disrespectful. You'll see clips where Thorm looks at KC as if to say, "Can I just finish him now?" But KC holds the leash. This creates a fascinating friction. Lao Hei knows Thorm can't touch him without the king's permission, so he pushes the general to the limit. It's a dangerous game of internal rivalry. Lao Hei is a splinter in the pack's foot. He's not a part of the order, he's a beneficiary of it. He's the guy who didn't go to war but wears the medals. And the real soldiers, like Thorm, are just waiting for the king to look the other way for 5 seconds. Here's the secret. King Charles has a moral code that's more rigid than any human's. To KC, Lao Hei isn't a dog, he's the memory of his own survival. During the recovery, Lao Hei licked the king's wounds and shared his warmth. In the canine world, that is a blood oath. King Charles allows Lao Hei to be toxic because KC is paying a life debt. It's the ultimate sign of a high-intelligence leader. He's willing to suffer the annoyance of a passed-away lieutenant because he values the loyalty that was proven in the dark. Most humans would have kicked Lao Hei out months ago, but the king is a creature of honor. He'll bite Lao Hei to keep him in line, but he'll never let the yard destroy him. It's a beautiful, violent, and utterly confusing bond of biological gratitude. Take King Charles out of the equation, and Lao Hei is a dead man walking. He has no other friends in the Hebei Shelter. He has burned every bridge with his ego and his mouth. He is a social pariah who's only alive because of the Charles Protection Program. This is the tragedy of the Frenemy. He thinks he's popular, but he's just tolerated. If KC ever decided to truly banish him, the pack would tear Lao Hei apart in minutes. He's living on borrowed time and borrowed authority. He's the Joker who forgot that the joke is only funny as long as the Batman doesn't kill him. Every time you see him wagging his tail next to KC, remember, that wag is fueled by the king's mercy, not Lao Hei's rank. He is the luckiest dog in China, and he doesn't even know it. So what does this teach us about power? King Charles uses Lao Hei as a social stress test. By managing a dog as chaotic as Lao Hei, KC proves his dominance every single day. It's easy to lead the loyal. It's genius to manage the frenemy. King Charles shows us that a true leader doesn't need a perfect circle. He needs a controlled one. He keeps Lao Hei close to remind the pack that the king's mercy is as vast as his wrath. It's a mind-screwing masterpiece. If the king can handle the most annoying dog in Hebei, he can handle anything. Lao Hei is the chaos variable that KC uses to sharpen his own leadership. He's not a mistake. He's a tactical exercise in patience. If you want to be the alpha, you don't just eliminate the troublemakers, you own them. Final analysis. Lao Hei is the toxic heartbeat of King Charles's inner circle. Verdict: he's a parasitic loyalist who's too smart to leave and too dumb to behave. He is the frenemy that the king earned in the recovery room and the general that the general hates. At Pawble, we decode the messy, violent reality of the pack so you can see the truth behind the cute clips. King Charles and Lao Hei are the ultimate case study in strategic loyalty. One provides the power, the other provides the debt. If you're ready to see the social order for what it really is, hit that subscribe button. Join the order of those who understand that even a king needs a shadow, no matter how dark it gets. Lao Hei is staying, the king has spoken, order is restored. Pawble out, lead with honor, or be the Joker. The choice is yours.